Ahead of Saturday's August 16th Edo ByeElection, a civil society group has warned the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure a free, fair and credible exercise. The CSO also alleged that there is a plot by the ruling All Progressives Congress in the state to undermine the outcome of the election. Well, joining me to discuss this is Calistus Ihejiagwa, is the Imo State Chairman, Labour Party. He joins virtually from Owerri, Imo State. Also have Eromosele Ehisuan. Of course, he joins virtually. He's a political scientist. Thank you for your time. Eromosele, it's great to have you. I also understand that we'll be having at some point Amanze Bazuaye is the News Central's correspondent who would, of course, be giving us live feeds there from Edo State, Benin City. Well, let's start with you. Eromosele, I mean, looking at these by-elections that will be holding in some states, one of which is Edo State, concerns have already started arising as regards its credibility. I mean, for you, what does this, would you say to a large extent that you have some level of confidence given the preparation so far?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Edo Light. Well, the preparation process is okay, and we are expressing our confidence, or let me say I'm expressing confidence on INEC, because I believe that the INEC must have prepared for this process. You see, Edo Central, like we all know, had Senator Mondo Kwewolo, who is the elected governor of Edo State, who took a bow at the Senate, and the seat was declared vacant. So sometime 2024. But as it is now, though the time frame of which INEC fixed for the campaign was short, but I believe the political parties, in fact, really campaigned strongly, especially the APC that have been on this campaign for a long period of time, which have campaigned strongly. And I believe that the INEC has prepared for this by-election to a greater extent, as the case may be. So what we are left with now is to go on Saturday and cast our votes. That's what we are left to do. So by tomorrow now, I believe the campaign has already stopped. So everybody starts doing some mosquito, grassroots mosquito work and prepare for the election on Saturday. So I think we are waiting for that day. You
used an interesting phrase. You said grassroots mosquito work. What does that mean?
There's what we call mosquito campaign. You know, even when the normal campaign has stopped, or the official campaign days, which is fixed by INEC, has ended, there's what we call grassroots mosquito campaign, which has to do with one-on-one talk to each other or something like that. People cannot come out publicly to start campaigning because it's against electoral laws. But as the case may be, people may likely meet one-on-one, like strategize on how to win the election, especially political parties in one way or the other, and individuals also talk to themselves and see how they can come out to vote for the candidates of their choice. All right. I think that is what I call a grassroots mosquito campaign.
Okay, we just need that clarity on that, you know, for the sake of our viewers that are watching. But let's look at Edo State recently, you know, just a while ago had its governorship elections. And then, of course, we saw the pronouncement by the Supreme Court, even though there were challenges as regards, you know, the election process during the governorship polls in Edo State. It was keenly contested, even at the courts. But, I mean, looking at these by-elections right now, you know, in tandem with the just held governorship elections, are there takeaways that you feel that maybe some lapses that happened during the governorship elections, those lapses can be tackled, you know, ahead of these by-elections?
Well, see, in every election, when INEC conduct election, certainly there's always a time whereby they will go back to the drawing board and see the area which there are lapses, the areas where there are lapses and loopholes, as the case may be. So by the time they go to the drawing board and see those areas, they try their best to see how they can work on these areas so that it will not affect the subsequent elections. I believe that whatever lapses that might have occurred in the governorship election, the INEC certainly will try their best to see how they can cover those lapses so that it will not be glaring, as the case may be. So this is what I think this is the area I could talk about in this regard. I believe that, like the governorship election, many, like certainly the PDP candidate went to court and to challenge the election of Senator Monday Okpebholo, the APC candidate, who is the governor, the executive governor of Edo State. And it was challenged at the tribunal. Also, it was appealed at the Court of Appeal, and also Supreme Court. And Monday Okpebholo was attested the winner of the election from the tribunal to the Supreme Court. And I believe that if there are any lapses, INEC would certainly work on these lapses so that it will not occur in this electoral by-election. That is the extent I could.
All right, Eromosele, I'll still come back to you on this. Please, if you can hear me, Eromosele, I'll come back to you on this because I mean, from the governorship polls that happened in Edo State, there were quite a number of lingering issues that emerged, and I mean, one would want to also look at all of those issues in tandem with what will be happening as regards the by-elections. But let me leave you for a moment and bring in Amenze Bazwai. She's a News Central's correspondent in Edo State. She's live in Benin City. Amenze, it's great to have you. Can you just take us through what exactly residents, in the states are feeling as regards this election, or if they're even aware that an election is happening, in a short while?
All right, thank you very much, Jacko. Right here, I am in Benin City. Residents here in Benin City are not totally aware, because I did a brief sample earlier in the day to talk to some residents and ask how they're preparing for the election. But for those here in Benin City, it doesn't totally affect them. It affects those who are residents in Edo Central and, of course, of their federal constituency. So for this location right here in Benin City, we do not have a lot of persons aware of that. If you walk on the street, if I stop someone right now and ask, are you aware about the Saturday election? Most of them would be very, very shocked. And a lot of persons do not know about it. But there are a few persons who are more elite, who are more informed, that would actually know. Some of those persons have actually stopped them today, and I'm going to be talking with some of them right here on the street. I have a political analyst in the person of Solomon Ihejiagwa. He's going to be talking with me shortly. But basically, campaigns have been ongoing for the past 1 week. We've had the candidates of the APC, the candidates of the PDP of their federal constituency, and of course the central senatorial district, obviously campaigning and reaching out to the grassroots to, of course, mobilize them ahead of Saturday's election. Obviously, campaigns end today, so after today, we would not hear any more of campaigns, but especially because INEC has declared that. But I'm going to be talking shortly with Solomon Ihejiagwa, who will be talking to us about how he sees this election and what the outcome would be for, especially as regards the 2027 election. Solomon Ihejiagwa, please come this way, sir. Good evening. Just talk to us. The election is the vice election, basically starting on Saturday. Talk to us about it. What do you think the outcome would be for the 2027 election as we are preparing for it?
We don't want to mind, so it's already know how it is. But clearly, by grace of God, still we're start signing the this. By grace of God, the society is a part of the Chairman of the state agencies, army, immigration, social security, or then some of the candidates. Fortunately, we got to know that for the Senate, it's about 4% of the lots, and for the society actors will be there on the feet on that day to look at the issue, whether there will be issues of logistics as usual. Usually the problems with INEC is either logistics or technical issues. But we just hope that this election is actually not going to also experience, because it doesn't seem like.
All right, thank you very much. Can you talk to us a little bit about voter apathy? You made mention of the fact that some opposition members of the party have actually defected to the APC. Even today, we've had such defections happening. We had some leaders, top leaders of the Edo Central PDP, actually coming out to say they are standing behind the candidate of the APC, Joe Isia. What do you think all of this turn of events will actually have an effect on, of course, the voters?
Now, let me say this back here. I'll speak as I'm talking from the public position, because we interact with the common man on a daily basis. There's already voters apathy. It's not just starting today. It's still going to be just on Saturday, rather. Because there's already lots of trust between the political parties, the political umpire, and the electorate. The tripod is wobbling. And until the government, by any means, is able to create a balanced tripod of the electorate, the umpire, and the party, we're never going to have a very credible election on this one. But that's just to say that there is obviously going to be apathy. Because a lot of persons will answer today, some are not aware. Those who are even aware, they're not ready to honor. This is where everybody don't pack at our party. Know where they go now. So obviously that will inform the vision of those who may intend to educate. So those who will come at the election actually is going to take place in the winter time. So they're going to see more persons coming out in villages and towns. But within the metropolis, I can assure you it's going to be a football field on the main road, because particular and particular movements obviously will be restricted. I'm sure police already mentioned it today, which is normal during an election. And so when an election, of course, I know, we don't need to be fast. That not much person. You look at the number of voters accredited, number of voters registered within the Edo Central, which is the senatorial election, and the number of persons that's going to cast their vote. And then the Obia Northeast and Obia Southwest constituency. You're also going to see the number of registered voters. If you compare it to the number of voters that, from what we are seeing, going to come at, I can assure you that it's going to be like, except the usual abacadabra, common in Nigeria. We have a weak institution against stronger person. That's an obvious fact.
All right, thank you very much, Solomon. Let's talk now to, of course, a civil rights activist in the person of Doris Odeko. Please come this way. All right, so as a civil rights activist, just talk to us a little bit about what you think would motivate voters in Edo State to actually come out. You heard the last speaker talking, and he made mention of the fact that there may be voter apathy. What do you think the government and, of course, INEC as well can do to ensure that this doesn't happen in this election?
Okay, there is need to enhance voter education and campaign. And I know what I just said now is not just what will have to happen this night. It has been a process that INEC and the civil society has always been on ground to ensure that the citizens engage, through civic engagement, issue-based dialogue, and again the campaigns that have been going on, the targeted campaigns that have been going on in the state. So it's a multifaceted approach where political parties have been busy fulfilling their own obligation, doing the campaign across the grassroots, across the constituencies that are carrying out that this by-election is being conducted. Another aspect, again, is to enhance INEC, those institutions that are championing this election in Nigeria, like the INEC, like the law enforcement agency, to improve on accountability and transparency by building public trust. I mean, strengthening the capacity of professional capacity of the police to enable them carry out their duties professionally. And this aspect, these two things, these two things that we need to bring in to be on board will enable the citizens to have that trust to be able to come out to cast their vote. In terms of the civic engagement, issue-based dialogue, we enable them also to build like civic engagement to enable the citizens to understand that they have that right to partake in governance through participation in politics. People need to be involved in terms of partaking in whatever that is happening in the political arena or political space. So the mobilization of these persons is part
Respondent,
of the engagement
right there live in Benin City, Edo State. Thank you for, of course, bringing us up to speed as regards what the residents of the state, are feeling as regards the by-elections which we'll be holding in just a few days from now. Right? Many thanks for staying with us. Of course, we are looking at the by-elections that would hold across some states in the country. And of course, at this time, I have Calistus Ihejiagwa, is the Imo State Chairman of the Labour Party. Thank you for joining News Central. It's great to have you on the program. Let me get straight to it. Now, there are concerns by your party, particularly under the leadership of Julius Abure, that have warned INEC that any attempt to conduct, the August 16, 2025 by-elections without its candidate's name and logo on the ballot papers would trigger a legal battle and might even nullify the entire process. What is this about with your party, the Labour Party, ahead of these by-elections?
Thank you so much for having me on your program this evening. We have a very delicate and complex situation. Labour Party is a party registered and recognized under the law. In this by-election, we submitted the list of our candidates. Unfortunately, close to 2 weeks ago, when INEC published the names of the candidates for the by-election, the candidates duly submitted by Labour Party was conspicuously missing in the list submitted. Until today, we have not received any communication from INEC explaining to us the reasons why the names of our candidates were not published, contrary to Section 31 of the Electoral Act, which mandates INEC to officially, in writing, communicate to a political party the reason why the list submitted to them with respect to the candidates for the election were not accepted or submitted. So we are asking INEC, please publish the list of our candidates duly submitted to you, or furnish us with the reasons why you have not uploaded and published the names of our candidates. Otherwise, it will be deemed that you have excluded the candidates of Labour Party from this by-election. And we have a remedy in law, which is outright nullification of the election, where the names of a candidate or the logo of a party is missing or not published by INEC. The law says that that election will be nullified outrightly. So we are advising INEC to please comply with the Electoral Act and publish the names of our candidates.
All right, but is this entirely the fault of INEC, according to your claims, that your candidates, and your logo is not, on the ballot paper? Is it entirely the fault of INEC or your party, which is looking at what we are seeing or what is being observed, appears factionalized? It appears as if a certain faction, or multiple factions are bidding for the slot. So could it be also traced to the internal crisis happening within your party? That's where I'm going.
In the eyes of the law, there is no faction in Labour Party.
Are you sure about that? You said in the eyes of the law.
In the eyes of the law, yes. And in the records of INEC, there is no faction in Labour Party. Labour Party is under the able leadership of Barrister Julius Abure. He's there in the INEC portal. We had a national convention on the 27th of March, 2024. That convention has not been set aside. And in that national convention, Barrister Julius Abure was elected, sworn in as the national chairman of Labour Party. Till today, there is no parallel national convention anywhere in Nigeria So in the eyes of the law, we do not have any parallel leadership or faction in Labour Party.
How about the Naledi Usman side or faction of the party? Who is she in the party and her team?
Not exist in the eyes of the law or under the Labour Party constitution. She does not exist. Electoral Act is very clear. INEC guideline is very clear. Labour Party constitution is very clear on how a national chairman can emerge. You cannot sit in the hotel and a few people gather and then coronate somebody as a national chairman of Labour Party. It does not happen that way. We have a constitution. We're a party guided by our constitution. Supreme Court said so, that the political party is supreme when it comes to matters of leadership, control, and management of its internal affairs. And what does the Supreme Court mean when it asks the political parties, in the case of INEC and the Labour Party, it said that the parties should go and comply with the provisions of their party constitution. When you come to the provisions of party constitution of Labour Party, national chairman emerges through a national convention called by the national chairman, existing national chairman. Which convention coronated Naledi Usman? None.
All right. I mean, just before we go on this break, you insist that your party is united and you keep making reference to the eyes of the law. But again, I'm still going to ask you, would you entirely blame INEC for the predicament your party is facing ahead of this by-elections? Are you absorbing your party entirely?
As far as the matter under this court is concerned, which is exclusion of our names of our candidates as published by INEC, I will put it squarely on the table of INEC. My reasons are as follows. Number one, the Supreme Court case that is all over and people are giving various interpretations, which was delivered on the 4th of April. INEC was a party in that judgment. INEC was a party in that case from Federal High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. Since after that judgment was delivered, close to 5 months ago, INEC said they are studying the judgment. 5 months after, you are still studying the judgment. You have not come up with your position one way or the other so that you clear the doubts. Then secondly, we had our primaries and submitted the names of our candidates to INEC. If INEC had problem with that name, the list are submitted to them. If they have problem with the leadership of Barrister Julius Abure, they are duty bound under the Electoral Act to, in writing, communicate Barrister Julius Abure and Labour Party that we have problem with this and that, or we have problem with the candidates or whatever. They have a duty under Section 31 of the Electoral Act to communicate to Labour Party. Until today, I want Nigerians to know,
all right,
until today, INEC has not communicated Labour Party in writing as required by the Electoral Act, the reason why the names of our candidates duly submitted to them was not published.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll, of course, delve deeper into this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on New Central Television. I stay have Calistus Ihejiagwa. Is the Imo State Chairman of the Labour Party. He joins me virtually. Thank you for staying with me, Calistus. Just before I let you go, you have clearly said that, I mean, according to you, your candidate and the party logo has been exempted from the ballot materials and that no formal explanation has been given as to why this is. So I am going to just ask you in 30 seconds, what next? What will the Labour Party do should this continue into the elections? What will be the next line of action?
Next line of action which we intend to pursue is to approach the law court and ventilate our grievances. There is a remedy in law when the list of candidates duly submitted to INEC was for reasons best known to INEC I use that word because till now they have not told us their reasons. So we have a remedy in law, and if we wait till tomorrow and the INEC did not do the needful by publishing the list of our candidates, and also on Saturday by putting the logo of Labour Party in the ballot papers, we will approach the courts to ventilate our grievances.
All right, so basically,
and we are optimistic that the court will do the needful. So we are appealing to INEC. We are appealing to INEC not to waste taxpayers' money and not to waste Nigerians' time to conduct an election that will be subject to nullification on the grounds that you omitted and refused to include Labour Party.
All right, so basically you are giving INEC about 24 hours to do, according to you, the needful, include the name of your candidate. But I just also want to ask, briefly, do you suspect foul play here?
I am not used to speculations. I am not used to speculations, but it is obvious that something is wrong somewhere, which INEC have not come up to tell us. Because under the law, we have done what we're supposed to do as a political party. All right. If INEC has its reasons, it should have informed us.
All right, thank you so much. Let me bring Eromosele Ehisuan, a political scientist. He joined us earlier on the program. Eromosele, it's great to still have you there. I'd just like to take your final thoughts ahead of the by-elections. What do you speculate, ahead of the polls, particularly in Edo State?
I am a member of Edo Central, the Asian-speaking nation. We are, in our Edo Central, we have a by-election, senatorial by-election, which covers the 5 local governments of that place. I am from Ward 6, in East and West, where we believe that the election will come and it will be successful. And God so willing, it will be free, fair, and credible. That is what we pray for. Like in Edo Central, the previous governorship election was free, fair, and credible. Everything went on smoothly in Edo Central and I was in Electoral. So believe that this one will also go on smoothly. So these are my thoughts on this in this regard.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Eromosele Ehisuan is a political scientist joining virtually from Edo State. We, of course, did have on the program to join us the chairman of the Labour Party in Imo State, that's Calistus Ihejiagwa. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good night.